Welcome, friends! Gather around the fire and let me tell you a gentle horror story to help you drift off to sleep. Tonight, we visit the Whispering Woods, where secrets linger in the mist. Are you ready? Let's begin. Leo stared into the dense fog, heart pounding. A tall, thin silhouette appeared at the edge of the cabin's light. It stood perfectly still, just a dark shape in the mist. Was this the thing that tapped on his window? Leo watched, fear and curiosity mixing inside him. The figure didn't move, didn't threaten, just waited. Then, slowly, it raised a long, thin arm and waved. The gesture was gentle, almost friendly. Without thinking, Leo waved back. The figure held its wave, then turned and melted into the fog, vanishing. Leo stood at the window, breathless. The woods were silent again. The shadow and tapping were gone. Only the memory of the wave remained. Leo lay still watching the shadow hand. It didn't move. Maybe it was just branches. He thought he had to know for sure. Gathering courage, Leo slid out of bed, eyes fixed on the wall. He crept toward the window, each step slow and silent. The shadow hand remained, unmoving. Then, a real sound, tap tap. From the window itself, Leo froze, heart pounding. The tapping was soft, almost curious. He glanced from the shadow to the glass. The tapping continued, tap 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 tap. Tap. It wasn't angry or threatening. Just insistent. Leo knew it wasn't a bird knot at this hour. Not with those fingers. He took a shaky breath. He had to look. He reached the window, hands trembling. The tapping stopped. As he got close, silence pressed in, heavy and expectant. Leo wiped the condensation from the glass, peering into the night. At first, he saw only darkness. Then, a thick, white fog rolled in, swallowing the world. Outside, the shadow on the wall faded, but the sense of being watched remained. Leo pressed his face to the glass, searching the fog for answers. Something was out there. Leo dove under his quilt fortress, trying to block out the strange night. He thought of happy things. Baseball, summer, his dog. But the silence pressed in. Just as he started to drift off, he saw it. A shadow moving on the wall. It wasn't his shadow, or the furniture's. The moonlight cast the window's shape, but inside it, a long, crooked finger tapped. Tap, tap, tap. But there was no sound. Just a ghostly, silent tapping. Leo's heart pounded. He told himself it was a branch, but the shape was too strange. He squeezed his eyes shut, counting to 10, trying to be brave. When he looked again, the shadow had changed. Now 2, 3, 4 fingers. A whole hand, spindly and dark, pressed against the window's shadow. It didn't move. It just lingered, a handprint in the moonlight. Leo stared, frozen, unable to scream or move. The shadow felt like a nightmare, except he was wide awake. He tried to convince himself it was just a trick of the light, but the hand stayed, silent and patient. Leo's breath was shallow, his mind racing. He wanted to call for help, but couldn't find his voice. The shadow seemed to wait, as if expecting something. Leo squeezed his eyes shut again, wishing it away. When he opened them, the hand was still there. The night felt endless. Pull your sleeping bags closer to the fire. Our story begins on a chilly night. Leo, a 10-year-old with wild brown hair and freckles, was at his grandparents' cabin, his favorite place. The cabin sat at the edge of the Whispering Woods, a name Leo always found silly. Until tonight. Supposed to be asleep, Leo lay in bed, listening to the usual night sounds. Crickets, an owl, the creak of the cabin. Then, a new sound drifted in. A soft, wordless whisper, like leaves rustling from every tree at once. The woods were whispering. Leo sat up, heart thumping. He told himself it was just the wind, but this was different. It was a shushing, secret sound. Shush. Curious and uneasy, Leo crept to the window and peered out. The trees stood tall and silent, their branches like bony fingers in the moonlight. The whispering grew louder, as if the woods were trying to tell or warn him. He scanned the forest's edge. Everything looked normal, but he couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shivering, Leo shut the window. The whispering stopped. Or maybe it was just muffled. He stood there, listening, wondering if the woods would whisper again. The night felt different now, full of secrets. Leo pulled his covers tighter, trying to feel safe, but the woods outside seemed to be waiting for him to listen, waiting for something to begin. And Leo, wide awake, listened to the silence. And that's the story of Leo and the Whispering Woods. Remember, sometimes the things that seem scary are just waiting to say hello. Sleep well, and may your dreams be peaceful. Good night.